Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, an amazing gamer protagonist with antisocial tendencies, an emotional mask-wearing female supporting character, tons of basic interpersonal skill tips, slight harem antics, and light novel adaptations. Remember to like and subscribe. Listener discretion is advised. Episode 420, Bottom Tier Character Tomozaki. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast, and hope you're doing well. Some of the episodes may be coming a little late, but worry not. I will be trying my best to make sure you get as much content as possible. And if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This is the Spiraken Manga Review, or some podcasts and reviews about connected enhanced narratives. Now, what does that mean? Well, every episode we talk about one or two geeky topics, and I tell you the pros and cons about it. Since it's the manga review, obviously we're talking about manga. I tell you how the art style is, the overarching plot, the characters, and most importantly, if it's worth investing your time in or not. You don't have to agree with anything that I or my co-hosts say. We try to be educational, enlightening, exciting, and most importantly, entertaining. Now, you can check any of our earlier episodes at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, and various other social media sites. Just type in Spiraken in the search bar, and I guarantee you find us one way or the other. Also, fun fact, some of our episodes actually have a video version, and in order to watch it, you should check out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Spiraken. And if you'd like to support this podcast, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Spiraken or patreon.podbean.com/Spiraken and help us to create some new content that you definitely will enjoy. We have 4 tiers, and each one has different really cool rewards. So check it out there. And with that in mind, let's actually get to it, because this is something really cool. This is our first episode in a while that we've had without manga news. Why is that? Well, the reason why is because I'm doing manga news in a different podcast now. Yes, we're officially going to be having the Spiraken Manga News. That is going to be its own separate thing. I'm figuring out what day to release it. Let me know which one you think I should release it in. Oh, I completely forgot. If you want to contact me, you can email me personally at zan@spiraken.com, or you can tweet me at Spiraken on Twitter. So, now it's out of the way. Some other basic news. Next week is Animenext Almost Home, the digital event. And while that convention is going on, I will simultaneously be running a bunch of panels on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Spiraken. I have 4 panels set up. It's going to be over next weekend, which is June 11th through 13th, and definitely check it out. Also check out our Twitch channel to watch me play Cyberpunk and other first-person shooters. Someone said I should put some other video games on there, but I'm thinking I'm going to stick with the first-person shooters for now because a lot of people like them, and also playing old-school games is kind of different. But I do have other things on our Twitch channel as well. So, actually, let's get to it, because I'm excited to talk about this manga. Actually, here's the cool part. I actually didn't review the manga for this because the manga isn't legally released over here. I did review the light novel of this, which should be under the book review, but we're going to keep it under here because of reasons. And so, if you remember from the last episode, I spun that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga. And it dictated to be that reviewing a manga that was written by Yuki Yaku and illustrated by 8 Cheetah. Now, the light novel is by Fly, that is who does the illustration, but still written by Yuki Yaku. This is published by Square Enix. The English publisher for the light novel is Yen Press. The actual manga itself is currently not being released. Now, if you want to go into open waters, you can check it out, but I didn't do that. I decided to actually read the book. Makes it a little bit interesting. Now, the light novel has 9 volumes, and the manga itself has 5 volumes. It is a shonen weekly magazine publication, and originally came out 2017 to present, and it is a romantic comedy that is known as Bottom Tier Tomozaki, or Jaku-kyara Tomozaki-kun. And this tells the story of Fumiya Tomozaki, this high school student who has become a social outcast. He doesn't care about that, though. He accepts the fact that he's a social outcast, doesn't get anybody, he's a loner, but he's good at one thing. Well, not really one thing, it's a bunch of things. He's a gamer. He loves gaming, and his current favorite game that he considers a god game is Attack Families, or Attack Fam. Not to be confused with any video games by Nintendo that involves the creation of multiple characters, even though this is totally a rip-off of it. But it's completely distinct, different. It's known as affectionately as Attack Fam. And he's amazing at it because he thinks that this game's perfect because there's a perfect balance, is equal amounts of effort that be rewarded with equal amounts of success. And in contrast, he thinks that real life is essentially a trash game. There's no walkthrough. Your character strengths are predetermined when you're born. There's unexplainable imbalances, and things go horribly wrong. So why play a trash game? Things suck doing that. So he sticks with what he knows, video games and TACFAM, and he's amazing at it. And he's known online as Nanashi, and doesn't interact with anybody. At one point, one of his classmates challenges him to TACFAM, not knowing that he is Nanashi, the number one person on the leadership boards around the world. And Tomozaki beats the hell out of him in the game, and the guy's like, no, we're doing this again. Okay, fine. Plays it, trashes him. Do it again. Plays it, trashes him. This guy is Nakamura. He's a complete dick who is like in charge of a clique and kind of tortures Tomozaki, but he tries to do his best. Now, one day, the second-ranked character, No Name, messages Tomozaki and says, "Let's meet. You seem kind of cool." And he ends up finding out that No Name is his classmate, Aoi Hinami, who is this perfect being in school. She excels at everything she does, socially, academically, sports, whatever she puts her mind to, she is the best. And she has a super likable personality. And when she sees that Nanashi is Tomozaki, she suddenly changes and is completely rude. Turns out that the whole perfect act is complete BS. She puts an insane amount of work to be the best she can be and succeed at everything, and that's what she believes in. The one thing she can't do is beat Nonozaki, and she's obsessed with it. And she also calls him out on him being a jerk for not trying in life, that it's not a bullshit game, that the real life is a game that you can win, that you can succeed at. And so, after a little bit of time, Tomozaki ends up going under the wing of Hinami to learn how not to be a bottom tier character, to be a good person, to be the best he can be, using tricks and different little segments. And each part of it is him leveling up in basic things like, okay, today, Tomozaki, you're going to speak to 3 people. Or you have to speak to the same person 3 times. Okay, next, you're going to talk to the same person for more than 5 minutes. You're going to start the conversation. You're going to add these influences. You're going to suggest this. You're going to go out of your comfort zone to better yourself. And as Tomozaki goes out into this world and he starts learning that life is not a trash game, he ends up becoming a new person. And it's fascinating to watch as Tomozaki ends up changing throughout this. Now, I'm not going to spoil a lot of this because it is a very unique story. It's not really unique. It's a story about a character who's trying to better himself. But they're using actual techniques to better yourself. There is a little bit of a complaining with, at one point, Aoi Hinami tells Tomozaki to hit on a girl, and what he finds out is that her methods essentially are just PUA stuff, pickup artist stuff. It's her using tricks to get the girl interested in him. And instead, Tomozaki ends up finding out that being himself is the better option. And he comes to a divergence between Hinami and himself. But still, it's interesting to see him as his world grows and as he changes, all the people he meets and all of the interesting aspects to it. The light novel is amazing and the artwork is great. Now, I may or may not have looked at the manga. The manga has great artwork, and it's a fun series. The storyline is great, and you really do understand a lot of the little things that Hinami's trying to teach Tomozaki, and a lot of it makes sense. And if you are socially awkward, this is a great thing to read because there are some good points in it and good leveling up stats on how to level up your character in real life. Now, the fact that there's no manga does put a little bit of a downer on it, and that actually loses some points, but the light novel is serviceable and really good. And for that reason, with all of that, I have to give Bottom Tier Character Tomozaki a borrow from a friend and don't return unless offered Pocky. It's really good. There's a couple of little hiccups there, and also the fact that it's not the manga, it's a light novel, does lower its rating a little bit, but it's a pretty good read. And like I said, a lot of the things that are taught are very practical, and there's some great characters in this as well besides Hinami and Tomozaki. I mean, personal favorite character that I'm liking right now is Nanami, who is completely crazy. So Nanami, or Mimimi, or Minmi, is this super energetic, mischievous character who is second best. She's always being beaten by Hinami, and she's obsessed with it, but she doesn't let it ruin her mood. She completely has this fake facade in her face and shows how she's lonely and how she wants to better herself. And she's an interesting, multi-layered character, but when you first meet her, you think she's just the dumb girl, and she's not. She's someone who's actually really accomplished. It's just she has issues. And all these characters are multi-layered. I mean, the first love interest, Kikuchi, she is very different than all the other characters because she's a bookworm, and she ends up falling in love with Tomozaki not because of this con. She actually started liking him beforehand because he'd always hang out at the library, and while she thought it was because he liked the same book she did, he was using it to kind of cover his cheat guides. But because of that, he ends up with an in with this girl, and they end up getting a relationship, and she actually is, in my opinion, the best option for him. But that's always been my case with these series. I think that certain characters are the best options, and then usually that's not the one that they want. It's like, no, you need to get with this character. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, this is a definite borrow from a friend. There's some funny moments in it. It's compelling. It's unique. It's a little sad. And it goes through the gamut of all the different emotions. That's my feelings on it. Now, if you've read this, let me know what you think. Email me, zan@spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know what you think. And besides that, remember, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Spiraken. Watch our YouTube channel. Check out our Twitter, our Instagram, and all those other lovely things. You can check it all out in the show notes. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga releases for the week. We have 54 for June 1st, and holy crap, there are so many of them. Just going in order, we have A Certain Magical Index, Volume 23, the manga. A Witch's Love at the End of the World, Volume 3, the manga. Adachi in Sumamura, the light novel, Volume 5. As Miss Beelzebub Likes, Volume 12, the manga. Chainsaw Man, Volume 5. Oh yeah, Chainsaw Man. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Volume 22. I think this is the second to last volume. Not entirely sure. Dragon Ball Super, Volume 13, the manga. Happy Sugar Life, Volume 9. Again, I thought this series ended a while ago. Why is it still going on? I hate that series so much. Anyway, High School Prodigies Have It Easy Even in Another World, Volume 10, the manga. High School Prodigies Have It Easy Even in Another World, Volume 4, the light novel. Hitori Jimi, My Hero, Volume 10. If the RPG World Had Social Media, Volume 1, the manga. If Witch, Then Witch, Volume 2. Now, the first Witch is spelled W-I-T-C-H. The second one is W-H-I-C-H. So, if Witch, essentially a female magic user, then Witch, as in which one. Next one, I Am Great Priest Imhotep, Volume 9. I've Been Killing Slime for 300 years and maxed out my level, Volume 6, the manga. Jujutsu Kaisen, Volume 10. Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun, Volume 12. My Hero Academia, Volume 28. New Game, Volume 11. One Piece, the Omnibus Edition, Volume 31. One Punch Man, Volume 22. Overlord, Volume 13, the manga and light novel are both released. Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time, Volume 5. Reincarnated as a Sword, the manga, Volume 6. Rent a Girlfriend, Volume 6. Roll Over and Die. I Will Fight for an Ordinary Life with My Love and Cursed Sword, the light novel, Volume 3, the manga. Well, it's light novel, not manga. Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts, Volume 13. Sarah for the End, Volume 21. Shibuya Goldfish, Volume 9. Showman Sample, I Was Abducted by an Elite All-Girl School as a Sample Commoner, Volume 15. I hate that series too. Spice X Family, Volume 5. Yes, I'm picking this one up. Star-Crossed, Volume 3. Strike the Blood, Volume 18, the light novel. Sweat and Soap, Volume 6. Takane and Hana, Volume 17. Teasing Master Tagaki-san, Volume 11. The Devil is a Part-Timer, the light novel, Volume 19. The Heroic Legend of Arslan, Volume 14. The Royal Tutor, Volume 15. The Summer of You, or My Summer of You, Volume 1. The Surprise of Haruhi Suzumiya, the light novel. The Tale of the Outcast, Volume 1. The White Cat's Revenge is Plotted from the Dragon King's Lap, Volume 3. Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, Volume 9. Triage X, Volume 21. Twin Star Exorcist, Volume 22. Vampire Knight Memories, Volume 6, the sequel to Vampire Knight. Wave Listen to Me, Volume 6. We Never Learn, Volume 16. I think we're at the point where they're doing the divergent endings with Bokuben. Not entirely sure. But anyway. With a Cat and a Dog, Every Day is Fun, Volume 4. Yakuza Lover, Volume 1. And Yona of the Dawn, Volume 30. Now, which one of these are you interested in? Me personally, I'm interested in Yakuza Lover, Bokuben, which is We Never Learn. The White Cat's Revenge is Plotted from the Dragon King's Lap. Surprise Haruhi Suzumiya, Summer of You. Takane and Hana, Sweet and Soap, Spy X Family. Definitely Overlord, One Punch Man, and One Piece. New game I've heard things about. Gonna check it out. And then, of course, from the top of it, we got Demon Slayer, Chainsaw Man, and Witch's Love at the End of the World. So which of these are you interested in? Let me know. ZanSpiraken.com. And with that in mind, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on. What I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. What we're going to do is we're going to spin this wheel. Whatever number it lands on, that is what we're going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 421. And I'm actually excited to see what we're going to do for this one, because 421 is kind of cool one. I know I should have talked about pot this episode because it's 420, but yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter. So let us spin and see what we're going to review in this episode. Shall we? Number 3. So, in the next episode, I'm going to be reviewing a manga titled Undead Unluck. What is it about? I don't know, but we're going to have to wait and see. And hopefully it is an excellent series. I mean, if it's bad, well, we'll have to wait and find out. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Thank you for being on this ride for me. If you like this new format for the podcast where I took out the news and I'm putting in a different episode, let me know what you think. Email me, ZanSpiraken.com. And as usual, thank you guys for listening. I'm your host, Zan. I'm Gonzville. Catch you guys next time. And keep reading manga. See you later.